Drew, what in the world are we doing here? This is not The Office.
Yo, 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 welcome to Moon TV Cribs. Come on in and take a look at my listening space at home. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this is not your typical Moon audio setup here in terms of the gear that I have in this listening room right now. Some of the stuff we sell, you'll notice the Sopra 2 speakers. These are in the bronze concrete finish. These are one of my all-time favorite speakers. Price-performance ratio is just, absolutely amazing. Stunning performance for the money. I'll take these speakers over just about any speaker I've owned to date, and I've owned a lot of speakers over time. And you'll notice in the rack here that these aren't your typical products that you'll see at Moon Audio. However, you will notice the Inspire QMB25s. These are a Dennis Had design. They're not on the website right now. We still do these by special order. These go with our Dragon Inspire headphone amp when you want to use it as a preamp, and then want to team it with an Inspire amplifier for your speakers. Absolutely amazing design. 20 watts for each mono block. We're using 6V6s on the power tubes, 6S7 on the input, and rectifiers are 5U4s. This beautiful amplifier was designed and built by a dear friend and what I would call a mentor, Kevin Carter, who was K&K Audio. Unfortunately, he passed away this year. He was the Lundahl transformer importer for the country, as well as he had his own do-it-yourself website where you could buy his kits and parts and all kinds of stuff. He used to have a Sunday school every Sunday if you wanted to learn how to build equipment, and show up at his house and he'd teach you anything you wanted to know, as long as it was about tube products, amplifiers, preamps. It had to have tubes. He was not a solid state guy. But I bought this from his wife after his passing away. I really wanted to have something that I could sort of have just always remember him by. Just a great guy. Daryl's met him before. He's gone to the Sunday school. Then some of this other equipment, you'll notice some Camelot Technologies and some assemblage products. These are products that aren't available anymore. They were actually designed and built back in the 90s. So yes, this is very vintage stuff, but what I can say about this equipment is, it still holds its own today. And I'm actually doing a lot of modifications to them. The Camelot Merlin Pro is just a CD transport. I've added a reclocker to it. I've rewired it, done electrolytic cap replacements. I've changed the display screen from, you'll see here, it's a yellow-green color to a blue. I'm gonna change this to blue. Blue makes everything sound better. And then assemblage was actually a product by Parts Connection, which was a side company of Sonic Frontiers out of Canada, where you could buy these products and assemble them yourself. This is an upsampler, a D2D upsampler, and then this is their top-of-the-line DAC 3.1 with the signature upgrades. All kinds of Blackgate capacitors, just modified to the tilt. This stuff's only doing 1644.1, but it easily competes with a lot of the stuff today. Obviously, it can't do the high-resolution stuff, but in terms of performance, they're just diehards. And like I said, I'm modifying them and making them even better. And part of the reason I have these here is they all do I2S squared. These are some of the first products that do I2S squared digital transmission. And I'm looking at designing a Moon Audio I2S cable. And these do it a lot simpler in terms of you only had to have so many conductors of data transfer, because we're only doing PCM, whereas all the products today are doing DSD and all kinds of other control stuff. So it's a little bit easier to work on this stuff because I've only got to deal with a smaller amount of conductors. But I'm changing out everything to HDMI so that I can use it with today's products as well, just to do some comparisons and see what I come up with a new cable design. I'm using a Keysees power conditioner here. I've got a couple of these. We've never sold them. We thought about carrying their lines many years ago. Good for front end power conditioning, not really doing anything on amplifiers. I'm plugging straight into the wall on those. And then we used to be a Carry Audio dealer. This is the DMS 500. So I'm doing Roon and streaming and all kinds of stuff there. You can Bluetooth it. My kids use it, they love it. Then of course we're doing all kinds of Dragon cables, right Daryl? These are all cables made by Daryl. Bronze Dragons, Black Dragons, Silver Dragon Digital. So he can tell you a little bit about those.
Yeah. So Drew came to me with the order, and we fulfilled it. Yeah. It just came to me with a big old list. So in the back here, so for the speaker cables, we're running the Black Dragon speaker cables. Great choice when choosing a speaker cable. And to complement that, we have the Black Dragon power cables powering most of the gear here. And as far as interconnects, we're using the bronze dragons. I see a single-ended pair and a balanced pair with XLRs as well. Yep. And I did want to point out this. I was trying to figure out what this is.
So that's just a fun piece of artwork I found on Etsy. It's an old tube that they replaced the filament with an LED and a power supply and a little meter on the front. I just thought it was fun. Thought it'd be cool. I'm still decorating this room. You know, we don't have a lot of furniture in here yet. No sound absorption on the walls or whatnot. This used to be my kids' family room. I just became an empty nester. I got 3 kids in college, so I finally get to have a listening room at home. I don't get to do a whole lot of listening at the office. Most of my listening there is critical. I'm listening to gear and not really getting to enjoy the music, so I've set this up for home so I can enjoy some music. And then I also forgot about the analog setup here. This piece we're selling, this is a Past Labs XP17. This is a staple at Moon Audio. One of the best phono pre's that I've heard ever. Does both moving magnet and moving coil. And then we used to be a music hall dealer many years ago. This is the original MMF9. And I've modified it, rewired it with Cardis wire, replaced the box on the back with all Cardis connectors. And then we're running Bronze Dragon, of course, from that to the phono preamp, and then balanced Bronze Dragon back over here, which I don't have a preamp in right now, so I'm actually modifying a Sonic Frontiers preamp that I'll add in here so we can do the vinyl. The vinyl is really more for Nicole than anything else. She really loves vinyl, and I got her a bunch of records here that I bought over while we were at Munich at the Hi-Fi show last month. So she's really big into Belinda Carlisle and Noah Kane, and so we're going to do some vinyl spinning here soon as I get that preamp modified.
Now I remember bringing this stand up. This is a hunk of a stand.
Yeah, this is HRS. This is essentially a 300-pound dead weight for your system, essentially. It's incredibly damp, inert. It helps with vibration. Vibration with especially gear back from the 90s, spinning discs, tube gear that have a lot of transformers in them. Everything is vibrating a little bit, and so dampening everything really does make a difference in terms of the sound. We're not talking about night and day differences here. We're talking about percentage points, but you know, at this level of performance, I wanted a stand that was going to take out any sort of vibration that might impose itself on the system. So this thing probably weighs about 300 pounds. 4 of us had to carry it up here, built like a tank. Think of it not just as an audio equipment piece, but also as just a glorious piece of furniture. I mean, I don't think the video or any of the images on our website really do it justice. I mean, it is an amazingly well-built, beautifully machined and crafted piece of furniture, honestly. Audio furniture, right?
Oh, yeah. And the way even this moves into the stand here, like that's just, it's like you said, beautiful, beautiful new machine.
Yeah. One solid piece, you don't put anything together, it ships in a crate, a big wooden crate, you just take it out of the box, set it up, and you're done. You don't have to do anything, and that's why, you know, they assemble it there, and they make sure that everything is just locked tight and dead and inert, and amazing equipment. So, anyway.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of tubes here. Yeah. Now, I didn't really take it too much as a tube guy, but...
as of late, I am going tube crazy. I've always been a tube fan, no doubt, but really as of late, especially because of Kevin's passing away, you know, it just brought me back to some of the nostalgia. These are EAT 300B tubes that we sell. Everything else is pretty much new old stock. We're going to be selling a lot more tubes soon. I love the combination of tube and solid state. You know, everything has an effect on the music, and I'm always trying to create some sort of balance. Too much solid state gear can be a little too analytical. Too much tube gear can be a little bit laid back and lush, right? So the combination of 300Bs, which are really warm and musical, with some really detailed analytical digital gear is really the right combination. And especially with the Sopra 2s that have a beryllium driver. I don't find beryllium bright. I think we've gotten way past the early days of beryllium being bright with Focal stuff. Right now it's probably, buttery smooth in terms of the mid-range, and it adds the perfect amount of detail with the beryllium tweeter that it's a perfect combination. And that's sort of what I'm doing with this equipment here. So yeah, big tube lover now. And you got to have a lot of good AC equipment. Actually, the ACs in the house is broken right now. I got the guys outside working on it now. So these tubes are heating up the place. Great in winter, but not great in a North Carolina summer.
Now, you mentioned I2S earlier. What's the deal with that? What's going on?
So glad you asked. So the thing about audio is you want to try and do less is more approach in my mind, okay? And so I2S is actually, when we go back to CD players, is the data stream that actually comes directly off of the disk transport. Before any kind of conversion happens, and when it sends it on to the DAC, it's got to either be converted to some other format in terms of, well, this is a transport, so we've got to output either coax, AES, or something else, but it also does I2S. So it's the rawest form of data, right? So it's the cleanest, untouched, we'll call it virgin sound, if you will, right? It's very clean, and essentially I'm bypassing any kind of conversion. With SPDIF and AES, you may have to do a 75 or a 110 ohm impedance change or the transformer or something. For Toslink, you got to do another kind of conversion. Why convert anything? And quite honestly, I don't know why I2S hasn't been used as a digital output method since the dawn of time. I mean, why do all these other conversions? So essentially, I found that I2S sounds the best. So that's why we're going to come out with an I2S cable, because a lot of new products now are finally realizing the benefit of I2S. So I'm using this equipment to experiment with so that we can develop our own cable for all those new products. They're very different now. You used to use a 4-pin, it looked like an S-video connector to do the I2S output. Now we're using HDMI with lots of pins. But anyway, there's the thought there.
All right, enough talk. I do not like seeing setups unless I can listen to them, so let's listen.
Definitely. Obviously, you're not going to get the true experience of this on YouTube, but I can tell you it sounds pretty darn sweet.
I've been down one, I've been down twice, I've been down so many times in my life. Mr. Justice of the Peace, won't you leave me alone? Never hurt nobody, I'm just looking for a home. On the day I was born, all my mama did was cry. It was the day my dad. Gracias al Señor por los regalos que me da, por su amor tranquilo, por mi libertad, por todas esas cosas que yo no sé explicar. Nay, 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 na, 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 nay, na, nay, na, nay, na, na.
So what'd you think, Daryl?
After listening for a while, I really enjoyed it. A lot of instrument separation, a lot of detail, a lot of dynamics. Now, as far as dynamics go, we didn't listen to a lot of my music, metal, EDM, that kind of thing, to really push everything, especially all the gear and the speakers. But great, sounded very beautiful. Like you said, the combination of kind of like solid state mixed in with the tubes, as well as the Focal speakers. It was amazing.
Yeah. And that CD, that's a special CD that we used to use at Can Jam all the time. It's a mixed CD. Back in the day when we had to use CD players as the source, now we're doing nothing but streaming, right? So CDs are never at the shows. I use that at CES to demo gear. I know every song, every second of it. Next time we'll do a bunch of industrial music for you, Daryl. Make sure to like our video if you enjoyed it. Make sure to give a thumbs up, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more tours at Moon Audio. See you soon.
See you guys.